The founders are in play again. New features of the major March update. Part 1. Hello, survivors. The Wasteland drift season is coming to an end, as well as the war between the Scavengers and Syndicate for the Oracle Activation Module. It's no secret that the next season is about the long-awaited Founders. These seasoned builders always have a ton of tough, heavy machinery to pummel their enemies into the ground. What have the Founders been doing for all these past years? They worked tirelessly on new, brutal tools. In this first part of our blog, we'll see the tip of the iron iceberg they prepared, an epic support module of a new type, and a legendary ballista. Let's go. We remind you that all the new features described in the developer blog are not final and may be changed before they are introduced into the game, or may not make it into the game at all. This applies not only to information about possible unique features of new parts, but also to the appearance of the parts themselves. Epic support module for improving accuracy. Spread is a very unpleasant thing. The Founders seem to think so too, so they created a new type of module, never before seen in the world of Crossout, which makes their life easier by improving accuracy of fire. In exchange for one energy unit, the module will provide several bonuses aimed at improving accuracy. For example, it will reduce the minimum and maximum spread, and its perk will increase the projectile's speed while driving slowly. A very useful gadget. Legendary Ballista. The Founders love the smell of heavy metal in the morning, especially if it's a piece of heavy metal flying on a ballistic trajectory towards an enemy car. Such a projectile can deal massive damage, especially if the enemy has lots of parts slapped on their vehicle. And of course, you need a big ballista to send the slugger flying. The new legendary weapon fires a metal beam that hits hard. The projectile deals increased damage to structural parts. We're sorry to everyone who loves creating armor out of those. Additionally, a hit from the ballista has high impulse, which is helpful against melee enemies. P.S. Like the Ripper discs, the beam stays stuck in the ground. Impressive! New structural parts. And this is only the beginning. The next devblog entry will be released soon. Stay tuned! Why another crossbow ballista? We just got one last season. What's next? A grenade launcher with magnetic projectiles? Cold damage crossbow with magnetic projectiles. We already have a ballista? Thought Fubakari was a crossbow. Ballistas are functionally slightly different, but they're still just big crossbows. In the context of Crossout, they're the same thing. Yeah, sure, and tank cannons are just large-caliber handguns, right? They're basically the same thing, right? No, ballistas are like the heavy artillery version of crossbows. Huge difference. IRL I'd much rather be shot by a crossbow because at least I won't be gutted like a fish, which is how they are in this game. You're forgetting that this game's crossbows weigh between 550 to 900 kilos, and in terms of design, only Spike and Phoenix are oversized crossbows. The rest function as ballistae would. True, but that also means a ballista will be wildly more powerful in Crossout than IRL as well. So regardless, there will be a distinct difference between the two. They never implied that it was gonna be a single weapon. If it is, then yeah. We don't know the sense of scale yet. We do have some sense of scale. This weapon was clearly meant to be a much heavier counterpart to any other crossbows, as it is described to have massive damage, massive impulse, and a huge metal beam as a projectile that is big enough to stick into the ground when it's shot. Regardless of size, this is definitely all around a heavier version of any crossbow we've had yet. Any planned Firestarter-themed season? Feels like a module that should be 2 energy, then reduce it if really necessary, like with the Interceptor Argus. Please let us know speed changes are still on the table. Many people are sick of the boring brick meta and we're looking forward to the changes, especially the ones who fused up things for speed. This structural parts look pretty clean. That's the coolest weapon concept fucking ever. As someone who works with iron workers a lot, it's fucking hilarious. Anyone here actually kick an I-beam before? Imagine thousands of pounds of condensed mass laid out in pure metal that supports literally everything. Holy shit, I am gushing over this. I'm guessing it's just one huge crossbow that costs a lot of energy, and not one you can run multiple. Looks good, and I like that idea. However, stuff that restricts movement like Capcan Ripper are just annoying to play against. I would change that feature and give it super penetration, like a bow version of Morta Wilwar Super Impulse or something else. Not sure the module will be good for the game unless you're nerfing multiple weapons before it releases. Stuff like Whirl already too good for their rarity, and Reapers require nothing but holding a button so you can run like 5 of those modules or whatever with a weapon that already is annoying because it is way too easy to use. Front bumper looks good. Avalanche, but for your bottom. Thank you for actually giving it a projectile speed bonus. The fact it works while going slow is even better. It kinda makes me wonder why y'all haven't made more stuff that works going at slow speeds.
Cool Founders. Maybe now you can bring back the free Lava Bird Founders and the Armored Turtle Founders pack, especially after you guys decided to make the lava paint unobtainable and untradeable because of crossplay. Seems the subreddit is being as disappointing as usual. Nobody seems excited about the absolutely dope ballista that's coming. Gonna be great on medium and heavy builds to counter speedy light builds. Same with the module, too. Glad medium and heavy, non-wheeled builds are getting some love after the upcoming speed changes. Yeah, right. The sub is disappointing. It's not the bloody game that is being run into the ground. Have fun with your new crossbow coming up. Maybe this time the fun lasts longer than tour. I surely will have fun. I hope you have fun too, since sulking seems to bring you and most of this sub joy. Glad the accuracy module will only cost 1 energy. I might even use one if it turns out to be useful for my therms and jewels. Just please don't make it OP. I've had enough of direct and indirect nerfs for good. Though not a fan of permanent projectiles, cause those beams stuck in the ground are gonna be yet another obstacle wedging my builds. But at least it's not a burst-firing weapon this time. The structurals are cool as usual. Curious to see the rest. So fast vehicles get resistance or damage for a speed, while heavy-only accuracy that will improve only some of weapons. But well, at least, first time for ages, something that work for slow movement. Plows, Part 2. I wish HV Slow Cabin with non-drone buff perk based, but some cool perk. Slow builds need love. Maybe devs noticed it. Bricks was abomination that cased other slower builds, nerfed because of them. Yawn. Time to check again in 3 months to see if they added anything interesting. Can you guys just change all the UI back? I can't even download the blueprint, then replace all the parts by UTO, L2, build your own. Structure parts look great legendary, seems like a direct counter to bricks. But that epic module seems too powerful to be just 1 energy, make it cost 2. Nerf spread of Swarm because it's a little bit OP on Torero or Step Spider. Add module to boost spread. Let me guess their next step. They're gonna add Godroll Fusion Swarm in next season BP with, what, 17% spread buff? That wouldn't be a Godroll Fusion, but okay. Nice update, IMO. It opens up the door for other similar modules. Love the looks of the new parts, too. Well done, devs. Swap Ballista Cross Projectile to Rail, and it will be better. OMG, are you dumb?
The difference between an I-beam and a rail is the rounded corners. The I-beam is better. Can we get a module that restores shotgun's range to something useful for more than BS face-hugging? Ah, I was hoping for mechanical arms or a robotic leg version of Big Rams. And another crossbow? Boring! Sick of crossbows, ugh. You asked for them to address the brick meta, and here you have it. You can buy the solution. Eat up, whales, the soup is on. Devs, please, can you fix the game so it runs on the Steam Deck? I desperately need this game in my backpack. Is there still no module that reduces the cooldown for modules or drones? Damn, you guys came up with this on your own? 'Cause it is lame F, and it suits your way of handling the game before. Can't wait to see the player numbers go below 10 players.